With Photo Vibrance, you can transform any photo into a mesmerizing moving image in just a few clicks. Simply drop your image into Vibrance and choose the effect you want to create. Then select your preferred resolution. Inside the editor is where the magic happens. Click around the parts of your image you want to remain still, then choose the motion arrows to add movement to areas in your image you want to bring to life. It's really that simple. You can also add text, images, as well as special effects and sky replacements to make your images really grab attention. In our advanced editor, you can also create incredible 3D parallax animations. Control the path and rotation of the camera, adjust the easing of your animations, and even add real 3D particles to your images. Once you're ready, choose your file format and hit publish. That's it. Get started transforming your images into breathtaking motion pictures with Photo Vibrance.
In this video, I'm going to show you how to animate an iris inside of Photo Vibrance. So what you want to do is, first of all, just draw out the anchor point, so where you want the image to stay still. So I'm just going to draw around this iris here. And also I'm going to draw around the pupil and the inside of the eye, like so. Cool. So what we could do is either draw a path and make it like rotate around, or we could draw some arrows kind of going outside like this and making it kind of expand and move around like this. So I'm going to try this one like this, for example. Just add the arrows to draw the motion. Cool, so I'm going to play this through, see what it looks like. Cool, and as you can see, it really is eye-catching, literally, with this eye. And what you could also do, as I said, if you, for example, let's go and select just the arrows. I'm just going to select this and remove those arrows. We could go with the path and just draw around this kind of loop, I guess, of motion, and just preview that as well. And that looks super cool, as you can see. So you can really have fun, being creative with certain images like these eyes. And yeah, that's how you can animate an iris inside of Photo Vibrance. In this video, I want to show you how to animate this image to make the dust really kind of fly around with Photo Vibrance. So I'm just going to go to the path for the anchors. I'm just going to draw out around this picture to the places that I want to stay still. So I'm just going to go through and quickly draw around this bike. Okay, cool. So once you've drawn out your path, hit enter on your keyboard and you'll be able to see it locks in all those anchors. And you can go and manually add anchors by clicking on single and just simply pointing and clicking around where you want to add your anchors. Once we've isolated the areas, what we can do now is add in our arrows. And for kind of dust, the best one probably would be to go with the single arrows. If you're drawing out water and things like that, you can use a path, and that looks really good. So I'm just going to go and draw out some arrows over here. And let's just bring them up. And depending on how much motion you want to add, you can draw out your arrows bigger or smaller. Usually it's best to go with not too big ones. But what you want to do is, just draw them out and see what it looks like. A lot of this kind of animating is kind of trial and error, so you kind of have to play around with it, see what looks good to you, and make adjustments. So I'm just going to draw out a few more, like this, maybe one up here as well, and one there. And let's just preview what that looks like. Cool, so that's looking really good. I can go through and adjust the speed like that. That's looking really nice. And maybe move this one, make it a little bit smaller, play around with that. And yeah, let's preview this again. So that's looking really cool. So that's how you can create a really nice looking dust effect using the motion arrows inside of Photo Vibrance. And once you're done, simply go to publish. You can then choose whether you want it to be MP4 or a GIF image and how many loops you want. By default, all the animations in here go through in loops. So if you're playing it really fast, it's going to loop quite quickly and then start again like that. So you want to kind of play around how much you want it to loop. And yeah, you can just go with one loop if you're going to be posting on social media, because it will automatically loop anyway. Or you can, if you want to make a longer video, you can just add 2 loops, for example, and publish that. Okay, great. So now I've published this video. You have to see, I'll just resize it down. You have to see what it looks like. So it's looking really cool. And what you could also do as well, if you want to have it in different formats, after you've published it, what you can do is adjust the size. Let's say I want to make it a square one like that for Instagram, for example, I could just go through and bring this over, done editing, and then I can go through and republish that as another video. So I hope you enjoyed this example of how you can create some really cool looking effects with your images inside of Photo Vibrance. In this video, I'm going to show you how to animate this lion and basically make the hair move inside of Photo Vibrance. So what you want to do with an animal like a lion is you want to kind of mark out first the face. So I'm going to do the path for the anchors and just simply draw around the face to add like a structure to this image. So I'm just going to quickly go through and add it around here, like so, and then hit enter. And I also want to go and add some anchors around the eye so that this also stays in place while the image is moving. So I'm just going to add around the eyes and also around the nose, like so, and that's looking good. And also probably around the ears, I'm just going to add some anchors around here and also around here as well. Okay, cool. So now what I can do is go to the arrows, and I'm going to use the path one over here for the arrows and just simply draw out a path of where I want this hair to animate. So I'm going to go with the actual kind of flow of the hair. So just kind of bring it out like this with the mane, bring this down. Also I'll bring some arrows over here. And also around the face I'm going to add some arrows. And yeah, this is looking quite good. So what I'm going to do is just quickly preview that and show you what that looks like. Cool, so as you can see, it's looking really, really nice right now. And it just really helps you to, get more attention to your images. So that's looking really good. I'm also going to add some over on the ears up here. Add some more motion, maybe around here as well. And maybe a little bit up here. Cool, so that's looking really, really good. And yeah, what I could do now is just simply go through, click on publish, and choose whether I want it to be an MP4 or a GIF, and publish this onto my desktop. So I hope you enjoyed this example of how you can animate hair on animals and really bring your images to life inside of Photo Vibrance. Welcome to Photo Vibrance. In this video, I'm going to show you how to get started creating animated images inside of Vibrance. So you have two options. You can either drag and drop an image over here or click to browse from your desktop, or you can go through the stock image integrations and search for an image using Pixels or Pixabay. I'm going to go and grab an image from my desktop and just drop it in like so. Okay, cool. So now over here what we can do is change the resolution, and you can set custom dimensions over here. If you select custom, you can go back to the original image size, or you can set sizes that are good for social media, like the square one over here. So I'm just going to select that and click on next. Okay, great. So inside the editor, we've got options such as adding text. You can add your logo or an image. You can add effects, shapes. You can adjust the size again, and you can publish your project as well as save your project to work on it at a later stage. So what I'm going to do first of all is begin animating. So what you can do is just zoom into the image over here, and you want to go through and set some anchors where you don't want the image to move. So I'm going to go and grab single and just simply start clicking around here. And I just want to, set the water in motion. So I want to kind of, freeze everything around the water. Okay, great. You can also use the path option if you want to just simply click and then click and hit enter, and then it will basically add the paths at the end like that. So I'll just go in and I'll just hit the selection tool actually and go and just move these around a little bit. Okay, great. So now I've got my anchors in place. What I want to do is add some arrows to make the image move. So I'm going to select single and just simply click and drag. And what you want to do is not make the arrows too big. You kind of want to make them this kind of size, depending on how much motion you want to add. The bigger the arrows, more motion you'll add to your picture. So you just want to kind of draw it out like that. We can keep going, add some more arrows, and then click on the play button. You can see we've got this nice kind of image like this, and what you want to do is just kind of go in there and maybe add a few more arrows like so. And there we go. We can also adjust the speed of the animation by just simply dragging this out like this. And what I also want to do with this one is I want to add some fog. So I'm going to go over to the effects over here, and I'm just going to scroll down and add some fog. So I'm going to go grab this one here, kind of zoom out, and then just kind of place it near the bottom like that. And I'm going to set the speed to slow for this fog, okay? So let's just play this through. And it's looking really nice. So once you're ready and you're happy with your image, what you can do is go to the publish button over here. You can select whether you want it to be an MP4 or a GIF image. I'm going to go with MP4, and let's just set it to 2 loops and click on publish and give it a name. So let's call this one Waterfall. And you'll be able to see that image will start exporting, and once it's ready we can go view our animated image. So let's just go ahead and preview the video. So let's check this out. And that's how easy it is to go through and create animated images inside of Photo Vibrance.
Welcome to Photo Vibrance. My name is Arthur Waino, and I will be your guide today on this tutorial. Today we're going to be focusing on pets or animals, so let's jump right into the software. Great! Now that you have the software open, I'm going to assume that you already know the basics, and if you don't, that's okay. You can go right over here to the tutorials tab and catch up on the videos on how to use the basics of the software. So let's go ahead and start searching for this cat image that you saw at the beginning of this video. I believe this one was in Pexels. So we're going to click the Pexels tab, and we're going to just type in cats. And look, it's right there, the second one. Perfect. Now most of the images that you're going to look for animals or pets, they're already going to be taken by professional photographers, and ideally you want ones that aren't too far away or too close. I'm going to go ahead and select square because that's the most universal across all the platforms, and we're just going to go ahead and readjust our square here. Going to click next. And let's go ahead and start animating. So what we want to do first is we want to go ahead and anchor all of our spots that we don't want to move. So for instance, the nose, the eyes, the mouth, and the ears around the head and the body. So let's go ahead and do that right now. And if it's not perfect, that's okay, because you can always go back and add anchors or delete the anchors. Great. So now, looking at this photo, we can tell a couple of things. One, it's a little bit blurry on his chin, so we're going to go ahead and also around here, around his lip. So we're going to go ahead and outline that, because what we want is we want this fur to move, but without blending into the rest of it, so it really shows the outline of his face. And we're going to do a jawline right here too. So we're kind of just drawing with the anchors on the parts that we don't want to move, because his fur on his face is going to be moving in a separate direction than the fur on his chest. Perfect. So now let's go ahead and start animating the cat. We're going to go ahead and select the path. And what you want to do when you're doing animals, and this will go for any animals, whether it's snakes, birds, cats, dogs, you obviously are not going to draw a path sideways like that. You just want to kind of go along with the natural path of the fur, the scales, the feathers, whatever it may be. So just draw it like that. And again, it doesn't need to be perfect, because any imperfections we can always go in and tweak once we see what the animation looks like. for his ears here, you can see that he has hair, but it's a little blurry, so we're just going to go ahead. I already know that the animation is going to kind of blend all this in, but it's still something to take a look at. So we'll see what that looks like once we're done. All right, let's go ahead and take a look and see what it looks like. It actually looks pretty good already. We could probably put a little bit of animation right here on his chin, but you can see that when we anchored out his lips, you can see it moving right there. It really makes his mouth pop, it makes his nose pop because we anchored that out as well. Since his eyes, we probably need to go in and fix this. It looks like it's spilling over into his eye. We can probably animate his eye a little bit as well. Now, from what I remember, since the cat's eyes are kind of like these slivers, it's going to be a little tricky to animate, but let's see what we can do. Just go ahead and move that over like that. And the spillover is gone. There's a couple little lines right here. We're going to go ahead and fix that. It's probably this arrow that is causing that. There we go. See, the line is gone now? Perfect. We could probably animate the fur right out here. And I forgot to do his chin. It's looking pretty good. Great. Now let's go ahead and work on the eye. Like I said, this was a little bit tricky just because the cat's eye is a sliver. It's not round like a human, so we can't really go in there and do a circle with the arrows. So all I did when I originally did this was I placed anchors right in the center of the slivers. And I went and grabbed a single arrow. I put it right down the side. And let's take a look and see what it looks like. See, we're giving it a little bit of movement in there. Let's go ahead and adjust the arrows and see what it looks like when we move it closer to the bottom. I think it looks pretty good like this. So all we're doing now is some just minor tweaks to make this the best that we possibly can. See how I got rid of that line a little bit? Let's see. All right, that looks pretty good. Now the only other thing to do is to increase the animation speed. So it looks like that. All right, perfect. So all we need to do now is go ahead and put this into Create Studio, put the slow zoom on it with the, and I went out there and found a sound effects of a cat purring, and then just an ambient sound that I placed behind this video, and it was complete. And look at that, the cat video is complete. Well friends, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you on the next one.
Hi, in this first step, what we need to do is basically cut out our main object or objects. So what you want to do is click on select object, and you can go through and start left clicking around your object. And what I'm going to do is basically cut out this branch. So I'm just going to quickly add some points over here, and once I'm done, I'm going to connect up all the points to that final point there, and we'll create a selection. So I'll quickly go through and add these points. Alright, so I'm just going to simply connect that up to create a selection. And as you can see, you've got all the points here, and you can make adjustments by simply, dragging them around like so. If you want to add extra points, just simply hold down Control on your mouse and left click, and you see we can add extra points like that. So it's simply Control and then left click to add a point. So go through and create this selection, and once you've created it, you can go through and give it a name. Let's call this one L. And then go on to the next step, and we'll start filling in the background. Alright, so in this second step, what we need to do is basically fill in this background, and the reason is when we go into the editor over here, if we start animating this camera, you'll be able to see that you can see the black background. It doesn't look very good, so we need to kind of clone stamp it to fill it in. So let's go back over Edit Image and go to Next. And I'm going to click on the Start Cloning button, and I'll bring up the radius quite big of this selection. You can adjust things like the hardness and the opacity depending on the image. You might want to play around with those. But what you want to do is basically hold down Control to create a selection and left click, and it selects this part of the image. And if I move it over like so, we can go through and start filling in this picture. So I'm going to go select this here, left click and drag it over a little bit. Maybe select it like so, and then just simply left click to fill it in like so. And you can see it works really well on images like this. It looks really good. When you're first starting out, you want to just have a play around with it first to see how it all works. Depending on the image, it can be a lot easier, as well as also it could be a little bit more tricky, so you want to take a bit more time on those trickier images. Okay, but let's just go ahead and I'll quickly fill this in, just simply making selections. Actually I'll select about here and just kind of adding these in like so. Okay, cool. So now that I've gone through and filled in that gap, what we can do is go into the next step and start animating inside the editor. Alright, so now that we're inside the editor, we can go through and start animating this image. So if I click on camera over here, and if I just zoom in a bit like so, and start moving it around, you'll be able to see now we've got this really nice looking effect, okay? And we can do heaps of things like adding in different text images, we can add particles and things like that. So let's go through, and I'll go click onto layers. And I'm going to go add some text, so let's just call this one, let's say zoo, and I'll adjust the letter spacing like so. And I'll just position this a little bit smaller, and also I'll add some extra text saying nah, open. Okay, and I'll bring this down like so, and just zoom in a bit. Alright, so I've got my text here, and I'm also going to go through and add a butterfly. So I'm going to effects, and I'll go add this butterfly here, and I'll just drag this down and position it on the branch, maybe something like that. Now what we can see, if I just go through and show you something, if I go to camera over here, if I move this around, you'll be able to see that the objects are in different 3D space, okay? So what we want is this butterfly to be on the same, kind of axis as this branch, so that it doesn't look like it's moving around. So if I drag this butterfly and place it just on top of the L, well, you're about to see that we've got it on the branch, and if I move it around now, you can see it's stayed on the branch like so. If I place it at the back, for example, if I drag this over, you'll be able to see it's behind now the branch. So I'm just going to put it on top like that. Also with the text, I want to bring these into the same kind of alignment like so, and that's looking really good. Cool, so what I'm going to do is go and reset this camera, and I might just zoom in a little bit, and I'm going to go to particles as well and add some particles. So let's go turn on, and I've got this leaf selected, and I'm going to make the leaf a bit bigger, leaves a bit bigger, and also I might add some blur to them as well. You can adjust things like the contrast as well as the color, so you can, you know, play around with the color like this. And yeah, that looks quite good as it is. And what we're going to do is just zoom in a little bit more. I'm going to rotate it maybe like this kind of angle and position like so. Okay, so here's my first position. Now what I'm going to do is click on add keyframe. You can also double click to add a keyframe like this, or delete it like that, but I've got a keyframe. I'm going to drag it to about 5 seconds, and now I'm going to set the second position that I want it to end on. Okay, so let's just go in like this, and I might just bring it across slightly and also rotate it slightly like so, and that's looking quite cool. So let's just come in. I might also bump up the size of the leaves like that, and yeah, we've got this coming in from here to here, and let's just preview that. That's looking really cool. So we can add another keyframe by clicking on add keyframe, and we can set a different position. If we want it to loop, so start from and end in the same position, what you want to do is double click to add that same position keyframe, so then the same position, and then just drag it over here like this, and just delete this one, and this will go in and go out, and it'll create a really nice looping animation, especially if you're using it on social media. You can have it, you know, continually looping like that, and it's looking really cool. So that's how you can go through and, you know, create some really nice animations. Yeah, have a go and play around with it, and once you're ready, you can go through and click on publish and select, you know, where you want to save it to and publish your video. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Make sure to try it out and have fun creating.
Welcome to Photo Vibrance. My name is Arthur Wainio, and I will be your guide today on this tutorial. Today we're going to be focusing on using some of the effects, in particular the sky effect and masking, and let's go ahead and jump right into that. So first, let's go ahead and select an image. Now I want you to think about the type of things that you can use for like replacing the sky. Things that I kind of think about are maybe a real estate ad with a house and the sky moving in the background. It seems pretty easy. Another use case would probably be something for like gyms. Maybe I can find a photo of somebody running and then have the sky moving in the background, because we can always overlay the text on top of that and go ahead and customize it for each of the individual people that we're trying to sell it to. So let's go ahead and start with a house. So I'm just going to type in house, and we're just going to select one of the first ones here. We're going to go ahead and select this one. There we go. Now obviously it's this photo that we selected is not ideal for a square or vertical, because most of the house is going to be chopped off. So we're going to go ahead and leave it as a landscape. We're going to click next, and let's go ahead and jump into the effects. So now you can see that there's 3 tabs here. There's overlays, effects, and skies. We're going to click on the skies tab. And they have multiple different skies that you can select from. We obviously aren't going to select any of the nighttime ones. I mean, you can. It's going to make the photo a little bit dark. But I kind of like these ones because they're moving fast. There's a lot of movement, especially when you're posting this on social media. You want something that's going to catch the eye. So you can select any of these that you like. I'm going to go ahead and select this one with the clouds moving back and the clouds above there moving forward. As you can see, it covers the entire image of the house. So what we need to do is we need to draw a mask so it reveals the house through the cloud, through the clouds moving. So we're going to click on Draw Mask. And what you see here is that this red circle is going to reveal all the sky wherever this red is covering. So to make this a little bit faster, you'll notice that there's a pencil size here. You can make this bigger so we can cover more area. What you want to do is you want to get it as close to the house as possible, and then we can fine tune it later. Oops. As you can see, I went over a little bit of the house. That's okay. we can click on this tab right here where it says Erase Mask, and we get the opposite effect. We can erase our mistake. So let's go ahead and continue drawing the mask. As you can see, I'm just getting it to as close to the edge as possible. And then we're going to go in and fine tune this so that it looks real good. Let's go ahead and zoom in here. Make our pencil size a little bit smaller. And this doesn't need to be perfect. Like I said, if you make a mistake, you can always click Erase Mask. So I can reveal the edge right here. Reveal this edge right here. Edge of the house right there. Obviously, working with the mouse, it's a little bit tough to get exact. Part of the tree is covered. We'll erase part of that. Because we don't want the sky over the tree. Let's grab our image, pull it over, see what we missed. Looks like we missed a lot, because as you can see, the sky is going over the house a little bit there. So let's finish off. This part. Zoom in. There we go. Again, you don't want the mask to be on the edge of the house, so you just want to get it as close as possible. And we can leave a little bit of the sky above the house, that's fine. Finish up our touches. Okay, so now that we got most of the masking done, we can click play to preview it. As you can see, there's hard lines, but we're going to go ahead and fix that now, and I'm going to show you how to fix this. Oh, there's a spot we missed right there. Click Finish. Now, you'll notice the hard lines. We're going to go ahead and fix those right now, because obviously this does not look good at all. There's an option here called edge fading, and in other programs this is called feathering. It's pretty much the same thing, and what it's going to do is blur the edges of these hard lines so that it's going to give this house a glow. There you go. Look at that. All right, perfect. So now the masking is complete. You can go ahead and render this out if you'd like, or you can continue editing and save this as a template for future use. Like I said, this would be probably ideal for if you were prospecting realtors and you're trying to sell your services to them and you want to do something quick and easy just to get their attention. One way you can do that is by going and grabbing their image off of their website or one of their social media ads, and you can remove the background and you can pop them right in here. So I went ahead and did that. I went ahead and grabbed a Pexels photo of a guy in a suit, a businessman in a suit, and I'm going to go ahead and just import him. I already removed the background in interest of saving time. So say this is our realtor. We're trying to get his attention to possibly create some video ads for him. So let's go ahead and spice this up a little bit more. Most of the real estate ads, they have some text and possibly the price of the house. We'll do a circle. Let's go ahead and move this behind the realtor. So we're going to go and show layers. We're going to move the shape behind the gentleman there. Let's go ahead and select a darker color, like so. Make this a little bit bigger. And then we can add some text. We want to make this bold because, again, this is going on to social media. We want it to pop and really stand out. Go ahead and resize that and get it in there. Since this is going on social media, a lot of times what you want to do is you want to add a call to action, have them either comment below or click something. So we're going to just put comment below for details. Can go ahead and center that, make it bold. Make sure our Oswald font is selected. And we're going to resize it. And we can go ahead and even put the price in here if we want. Or you can put a phone number. If you already know the realtor's name, you can even actually put that right here. Contact Joe below for details. Anything. This is complete. Now, if you wanted to go ahead and have this text animated and have possibly something else right here, you can go ahead and render out the video that you had before and take it into Create Studio to add those animations and save it as a template inside there as well. And there you go. Today, folks, what we learned is how to use some of the effects within Photo Vibrance, drawing a mask to reveal the sky, erase scan mask, and edge fading to make everything all congruent and look pretty. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I will see you on the next one.
In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace the sky on any image inside of Photo Vibrance. So what I'm going to do is simply go to Effects, and then go to Skies. And you can simply hover your mouse on the different types of skies, and then left click to add it to your canvas. And then I'm just going to simply resize it a little bit like this, and maybe place it up a bit like so. The next thing you want to do is click on draw mask, and you can simply just zoom in a bit and draw out the edge of your mask over here, and then fill it in once you've added the edge. So I'm going to quickly go through and do this. Okay, great. So once you've drawn out the mask, simply hit finish, and then what you can do is adjust the edge fading by simply playing around with this, and you see that it helps you to basically merge the footage together so it looks a lot cleaner. And you can also adjust the speed of your video. So let's click on play, and you can see how nice that looks to really create a lot of attention to your image. And you can also adjust the speed as well, the overall speed of the video, by dragging this down like so and placing it like that. So that's how to quickly create a sky replacement inside of Photo Vibrance. In this video, I'm going to show you how to turn any photo or product shot into a nice looking video ad with a few tweaks inside of Photo Vibrance. So the first thing I want to do is click on text and add some text. I'm just going to type in 50% off all, and I'll also go through and adjust the text font, make it VBAS like that. And I'm just going to bring this down a bit like so, and position like so, and click on text again, and I'm going to say off all sweaters like so. And with this text font, I'm going to go with Josephine Sands, and I'll also adjust the letter spacing like so, and then bring this down. So I'm just going to select this and put it under like so. Cool. So 50% off all sweaters. Now what I want to do is add some effects to really bring this to life. So I'm going to go to effects over here, and I'm going to scroll down and find the particles. So let's go over to particles, and this one here looks really good, so I'm just going to simply left click on that, click on expand to make it full width and height. And then what we want to do is draw out the mask so that we can reveal only certain parts of this video. So I'm going to adjust the pencil size, make it quite big, and just quickly draw out around her so that you can have the particles just showing up around the image. Okay, cool. So that's just a quick rough draw. I'm just going to click on finish. And you have to see right now, if I play this through, we've got a really nice looking video ad with a really nice looking effect where it looks like the particles are kind of going around and behind her. So you can adjust the speed over here. You can then go through and add your logo by clicking add on image. And yeah, so that's how to create a really nice looking video ad from any product shot inside of Photo Vibrance. In Photo Vibrance, you can easily save and open projects as well as share your projects with other users. So let's say you go ahead and create a project. What we can do is click on save over here and give this project a name, and then save it on your desktop. And then if I go ahead and exit this project, over on the home screen you can go to open project over here and just simply double click on the project, and you'll be able to see it opens up the project ready for you to continue editing. And you can go ahead and obviously share these project files, these PVP files like so, with other users. So let's go ahead and, for example, want to open this one over here, just double click on that, and it goes ahead and opens up all the projects with all your settings, and you've got your image ready to start editing or to collaborate with another user.